How's everyone doing today? Nick with McGaughys Suspension. This is a factory 20-inch wheel that came off of this truck when it was brand new. This is a 2024 AT4 2500 HD. This 20-inch factory wheel, I want to say it's about a 6.25 backspace, give or take. You can look them up online to find out exactly what they are, because depending on if you have a 20 and 18 or a 22, because they do make them in a 22 as well, the backspace might be a little bit different. But the question is going to be, is this wheel going to fit on our 4-inch kit, and will it fit with the 37 1250? So the answer of the wheel will definitely fit on the kit. We have spec'd it out to fit on the kit with a factory tire. We're going to install this 37 1250 Toyo mud terrain on this truck so you can see how the tire actually fits on it. And I want to just kind of show you guys real quick here. This Toyo is slightly larger in circumference than this Nitto. This Nitto is a 37 1250 by 18-inch wheel, and this is a 20-inch wheel. This is a little bit slender on the actual section width compared to this Nitto. Those two, I mean, again, when you want to, we're gonna test fit this one, but do be aware that per tire, manufacturer and actual tire model, the section which is this bulge right here, will vary from tire to tire. So we are test fitting this Toyo mud terrain, but again, compare this Toyo mud terrain specs online compared to another tire if you're gonna use another brand tire, to make sure that you're still within the same section width. Okay, so we have the truck jacked up with the floor jack, and you can see that the suspension is hanging down right now. The tire should be able to, it's barely touching, but the tire is basically at full droop right now. I want to show you the clearance on the inside of the tire. And like we talked about before, this tire rounded section is what's called the tire bulge. That tire bulge is very close to our upper ball joint area, and it has minimal distance in between. Right there is just one finger in between the top of the knuckle spindle and the inside of the tire. So some can argue that this right here at full droop obviously is least amount of distance, and then when it goes down on the ground with the actual weight of the truck on the ground, we'll show you the distance, because that'll probably get a little bit larger. But I wanted to show you at full droop how close that is. Okay, so at full lock, turn to the right. Again, we're still hanging. I want to show you another area that becomes a complicated, very, very tight area for the tire. We have the tire actually engaged pressure into the torsion bar itself. All right, so now the truck is on the ground. We moved it forward and back to settle the suspension, to make sure that it wasn't bound up in any type of way. We're at full lock. We actually, when we lowered it down, we did get a little bit more steer to the right, and it did lock the steering fully. So we're at full lock right now, and I want to show you the inside. So earlier we showed you when it was drooped out, the distance between the upper ball joint and the spindle, and now we've increased that distance by just a fraction. So now some would argue that it actually clears and would work in this area. So this wouldn't be too bad. So as stated, the truck is on the ground, fully locked to the passenger side. And as you can see, we've actually grown a little bit of space in between the torsion bar and the inside of the tire. You can see there that now we have some space created. So now we're turned all the way fully locked to the driver's side, and we're checking the space in between the inside of the tire and the sway bar. So I wanted to finalize this up real quick and give the answer if this wheel and tire will fit. It's very, very tight. It's something that you're going to have to test fit with your particular tire. As you can see, we use this 37, and this is this 37 1250 Toyo mud terrain, and this is the results that we came up with. So you can go online to Toyo's website, see the actual specs of this tire, and compare that to another brand that you might be thinking of. Some brands will change on their actual section width. That's what you're really needing to pay attention to, because the more section width, the more bulge, the worse off that you're gonna be on the inside rubbing. Will this work on this truck? Yes, this would drive on the truck, except for when it was fully drooped out, you're gonna see some rubbing at full lock on that rear torsion bar area on the inside of the tire. The other thing to note that I wanted to talk about is that this truck is our 4-inch kit that we just came out with. It is sitting at 4 inches, and the fender height, which is, I really want to tell you guys so that you can compare it to your truck on how you have it set up, but we're sitting at, from fender lip to center of the hub at ride height, we're sitting at 28 inches. When the truck was on the floor jack fully drooped out, it was sitting at 31 7/8 of an inch of full droop. So just so you guys can compare it on your own truck at home, that's how our truck was sitting and what we test fitted it on. And again, this is a very popular wheel, but it's used to your own discretion. You need to do some research on the actual tire. The wheel does fit without a doubt on a factory tire, but once you start going to a larger tire and wider tire, that's when you need to kind of look at those inside areas to see if there's gonna be any rubbing. If you guys have any questions about this, you can always reach out to us on our social media pages, or you can contact the office directly and talk to one of the sales reps. But again, we do want to see people trying to use these wheels because they are popular. Just be wise to make sure that you do your research and make sure that it fits for your particular tire that you're going to put on it.